Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're going to dive into a pretty startling case study that shows how just one tiny piece of information, a single phone number, can be used to basically unravel a person's entire digital life. It's a wild ride from a simple WhatsApp call to a full-blown personal profile. And the craziest part? It's all done without a single line of hacking. Let's get into it.
So let's start with this really powerful idea from our source material. And you've got to understand, this isn't hacking in the way you might think of it, with complex code or breaking into servers. Nope, this is all about investigation. It's the art of piecing together all the publicly available clues that we all leave online.
So where does an investigation like this even begin? Well, this whole digital detective story kicks off with something surprisingly simple, a WhatsApp call. But before that call is even made, the investigator has to get their tools ready and set the trap.
Now, this whole thing, it's all built on a technique called open source intelligence, or OSINT for short. The best way to think about it is like being a digital detective. You're just finding and connecting the digital breadcrumbs that we all leave out there in the public domain. It's really about knowing where to look and, more importantly, how to connect all those dots.
All right, so the setup is pretty straightforward, really. It's basically these 4 key steps. An investigator saves the number, gets WhatsApp running on their desktop, and then they install this program called Wireshark. Now, Wireshark is basically a network analyzer. Think of it like a net, catching all the data flying in and out of your own internet connection.
Now, what's really fascinating here is that after all that technical prep work, the most critical part of this whole process is a simple human action. The target has to pick up the call. If they don't answer, game over. That first link in the chain is just broken. But the moment they do answer, Wireshark springs into action and captures their public IP address. You see, to make the call happen, WhatsApp uses this thing called the stun protocol to create a direct connection. And bam! In that split second, the IP address is revealed right in the network traffic. This is the investigator's first major clue.
And here's the thing you have to remember. An IP address isn't just a bunch of random numbers. It's a direct link to a general physical location. It's the very first breadcrumb that connects this whole digital chase to a real physical place.
Okay, so they've got the IP address. What did it actually tell them? Now, the last couple of numbers are blurred out for privacy, of course, but those first 2 sets of numbers are all the investigator needs to take the next crucial step.
So you just pop that IP into any old lookup website and boom, it instantly pinpoints the target's location. Think about that. In just a few minutes, we've gone from a simple phone number to a specific city, Berlin, Germany. The investigation now has a geographic anchor.
And this right here is the perfect example of what they call the snowball effect in OSINT. You start with one tiny piece of information, and it helps you find a slightly bigger one, which then leads to an even bigger one. With every new discovery, that snowball of data just gets bigger and bigger, and it starts rolling faster and faster.
Okay, so now we've got 2 things, a phone number and a city. But you're going to want to watch this, because that little snowball is about to turn into an avalanche.
As it turns out, the target's WhatsApp profile picture was public. So what do? Simple. You download it, you upload it to Google for a reverse image search, which is just a super powerful way to see where else on the internet that exact same picture has shown up. And bingo, there it is. The search connects that profile picture to another online profile that has a full name, Thomas Piffa. Suddenly, this anonymous phone number has a real identity. This is a huge turning point in the investigation.
And once you have a name and a city, well, the floodgates just open. More searches bring up a university, which helps confirm who they are, then a year of birth, a LinkedIn profile detailing their career, a personal website, and maybe most important of all, an email address. That little snowball we talked about? Yeah, it's a full-blown avalanche of data now.
And get this is a really fascinating detail from our source material. In a country like Germany, having a person's full name, their date of birth, and their city is often all you need to legally go to the local registration office and request their home address. I mean, think about it. For all intents and purposes, the whole investigation could just end right there.
But, the investigator doesn't stop. Because that email address they found, that's like a master key. It's a key that can unlock a person's entire digital past, all through the world of data breaches.
So they take that email over to these specialized search engines. Tools like Intelligence X or Have I Been Pwned. You can think of them like Google, but for data breaches. They crawl through these massive collections of leaked data from all over the internet, looking for any mention of that email. And the result? Wow, it's pretty stunning. That one email address pops up in 9 different data breaches over the years. That means personal information from 9 different services this person signed up for is now just floating around out there.
And check this out. In one of those breaches, from a huge leak that's known as collection number 1, it's not just the email they find, but the actual password the person used for that account, Somos1. It's just a crazy reminder of how vulnerable those old passwords we reuse everywhere actually are.
But it actually gets worse. Another one of those 9 breaches, this one from a service called Lead Hunter, is known for having physical addresses that users provided. And with that final puzzle piece, we can put together the final and, honestly, kind of chilling profile.
I mean, just look at how this all came together in the final dossier. It all started with just a phone number. That led to an IP address, which gave us a city, Berlin. That led to a name and a date of birth. From there, an entire online life, email, LinkedIn, a website, and then a compromised password, and finally a full physical address, all pulled from a data breach.
And if you take away one thing from all of this, let it be this. Every single piece of information in that profile was found using open source intelligence. This wasn't some complex hack. It was just connecting the dots, the digital breadcrumbs that we're all leaving behind every single day.
So all of this leaves us with one last and pretty important question. This whole case study just shows what's possible when all our public data is pieced together. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What could someone find out about you with just one piece of information?